Hello, listeners, and thank you for listening to the Boston Midnight Broadcast. I am Alexander, and this is my co-host, John. Introduce yourself, John.
Thank you for being with me, Alexander. Today is August 31st, 1927. The weather today here is an expected high of 61 degrees and a low of 57. Alexander, how much did it rain today?
It rained about 0.88 inches. Also, today in history, Emperor Commodus was born. He was the Emperor of Rome. He was terrible. He went insane and caused a civil war.
That's pretty tragic. In today's news, another tragedy has occurred. Roy Powers and Dean Hannings were charged with speeding and pledged not guilty.
In other news, Ralph J. Smith and a companion escaped Chillicothe Federal Prison. So keep a good eye out. Previously, he has used the alias Adolph J. Toupont. He's 22, he weighs 157 pounds, and he is 5 feet tall.
And we had previously covered this topic, and we want to recircle back in light of a recent political cartoon that we discovered, comparing the Sacco and Vanzetti trial to the Salem witch trials. Alexander, what do you have to say about this?
Well, it is tragic. It has to do with this trial. We described it in deeper detail earlier, but we might say that Sacco and Vanzetti were Italian anarchists. They were convicted of murder of a guard and robbery of a shoe factory. And I fear that this picture might be reasonably accurate due to the fact that it feels that the anarchist beliefs may have been a moving decision in this court decision.
And now we have a letter to the editor.
I will read. You cannot read, John. I am very disappointed in all of the violence surrounding this trial. Can people not trust the law anymore? Sacco and Vanzetti were clearly guilty, and they got what they got for being anarchists. They were murderers and thieves, and even if they were not, every anarchist dead is a safer society. Well, that feels a little unfair. I mean, you cannot just say people should die due to their political beliefs. Wouldn't you agree, John?
Yeah, I'd say that's a little extreme. Speaking of extreme, one of our citizens from Massachusetts sadly passed on June 1st, Lizzie Borden.
Like our feature story, she was suspected of murder, and like our next topic, she was acquitted for circumstantial evidence, and she has died a natural death, unlike Sacco and Vanzetti, quite the opposite. But before we get to the feature story and our interview, we will have a quick word from our sponsor.
Are you tired of your smile being dull?
Yes, my teeth are rotten and yeah!
Well, look no further than Doramat Radioactive Toothpaste to give your smile the glow it deserves.
My teeth glow now. They're so much better. Send a letter to 45782 Avenue to get yours today. That's 45782 Avenue. Send a letter now.
All right, we are back, and we are bringing in an anarchist for an interview. His name is Robert McKinley.
Hello, my name's Robert McKinley. Oh, yeah. That whole Sacco and Vanzetti trial was a farce, I tell you. A farce. It was a lie.
Now, why would you say that, Robert?
Because it was all on circumstantial evidence. It was just an excuse to kill 2 more anarchists. That's what you guys always think.
Well, I mean, it isn't, but could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I could. They were convicted only because they were anarchists. The whole point of that trial was to kill them. They could have been retried, but that blasted governor, he wouldn't retry because he's corrupt.
No, I don't think that's very fair.
Shut up!
Security!
No!
Get him out of here!
You're fools!
Alright, we apologize for that madman. Alright, I will now talk about the Sacco and Vanzetti trial. The Sacco and Vanzetti trial, Nicola Sackler and Bartolomeo Vanzetti were both convicted of murder and robbery. They were radical anarchists. Their final appeal has been rejected, and they were executed after waiting for 2 months. This trial has been heavily criticized by many prominent individuals, one of which was the Harvard Law School professor Felix Frankfurter. It was due to the sheer amount of disproven accusations and circumstantial evidence that made this trial so controversial.
And they both died in the Massachusetts electric chair. And speaking of electric chairs, let's speak about this tragedy.
Yes, there was another tragedy. We regret to inform our dear listeners that as of today, Boston Red Sox lost to the Yankees, the cursed Yankees. And the final score was 10-3, a crushing defeat. Well, thank you for tuning into the Boston Midnight Broadcast. We have to end now. Goodbye.